So hey Julie, thanks so much. Can you introduce yourself to the girls in tech readers?
Hi, I'm Julie Brosterman, and my company is Women in Wine, womenwine.com. I started the company 3 years ago when I realized that women were very curious and wine meant something very personal to them, but there really was no way for them to connect to the stories and the people that are in the glass. We recently launched a new web platform which allows people to contribute their stories to inspire and educate and entertain people who love food and wine and travel. And the one thing I have to say is I love what I do. I wouldn't live any other life. Being an entrepreneur is not always an easy thing, but if you're passionate about what you do, you're sure to be successful.
That's great. So another question, in the past you were working in the mortgage industry and you were very successful, right? So what was that one pivotal moment when you realized that you weren't following your passion? What kind of advice would you have for the women who are trying to figure out their passion, but they're kind of stuck in their world? What advice would you give?
This is kind of a not nice story, but in spite of my success, my boss threw me under a bus when I was in my previous life. And I had always been in kind of a sales and marketing and strategy capacity and was commissioned in that capacity, and the most successful employees in the company were making the millions of dollars a year. And I thought, you know what, I never want to be fired again. I want to control my own destiny, and I'm going to invest every hour and every idea in myself, because at the end of the day, I can take it to the bank. And so I want to say to people, well, it's great to work for good companies. When you invest in yourself, you're investing in yourself, Inc. And don't ever, forget that, that's an important, valuable asset that you bring to the table.
Thanks so much. And also, any tips for entrepreneurs in this current recessionary economy? Obviously, it's all about saving money, but at the same time, there are many great businesses and many great entrepreneurs are born out of recessionary times. So any words of advice from an entrepreneur like yourself?
I don't think there could be a better time for people to go into businesses right now. People are much more thoughtful, they're much more open, and there's kind of been a groundswell of people wanting to help each other and connect with each other. So, businesses are about networking and building on those networks, and now is a really great time. People are not as busy, you can get their attention, you can get their advice. And women are like sponges. You just need to soak it up. You need to realize that there's not a day that you're not going to learn something new. And the recession provides the best opportunity, instead of taking a job for less than you're worth, for you to go out there and do it on your own.
Great, and thanks so much for your time and for hosting tonight. And is there any last words of advice you have for women entrepreneurs? Because we have a different, more difficult path than male entrepreneurs. But even though it is more equal than before, I feel, but there are different obstacles. So, any more words of advice for some, like you're very wise. So.
Well, one of the things that I've realized is that when it comes to building a company, make sure that you can count on yourself, but make sure that you can count on the people who say they can do it, or they want to work with you because they like the space or they like your spirit. Make sure that you scrutinize those people of have they personally achieved success in their own right, because just wanting to make it happen or just saying they can doesn't mean that they can achieve it. And there's a big learning curve for people who are working in startups for the first time. There's not a day that you can rest. There's not a day that you can say, I'm off today. It's always being focused, staying with the plan, and there's an opportunity around every corner. So if you don't have a team behind you who can do that, then you might as well hang it up. You'd be better off doing it on your own.
Thank you so much, and so we have to ask, because women in wine. So, what's your favorite? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Syrah right now. And Syrah, like Syrah, is my favorite California varietal. This one happens to be in an Italian style from Napa Valley, from the Oakville area. Syrah is like the most misunderstood wine. You can't sell it. People don't want to buy it.
Why?
I love it. Because they say Cabernet or Pinot or whatever, and they don't really understand Syrah. And I feel like I relate to Syrah so beautifully because I'm walking on my own path. And so try some Syrah. Great values, wonderful wines, great stories.
Great. Thank you so much, Julie. All right.